Welcome back, everybody. It's time for part 2 from our friend AKBH Writer. This is, well, you know it's part 2. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Niceguy part 2. I was going to be dramatic, but you can see the title, so, whatever. Anyway, let's get to the story. Our cast, AKB, older, taller, still a stupid kid, and still a nice guy, unfortunately. C, the first girl I set my eyes on, and A, second girl I developed a crush on and let my nice guy side take control with. Okay, so I met C on the first day since she was in my tutor group. I decided she's cute, but didn't talk to her unless necessary, and like with R from the last story, I didn't look her way that much. Sometimes I'd glance at her and dart my eyes away if I thought I was about to get caught, but it wasn't much more than that. At one point, she started dating this guy from a couple years above us. I think that's what triggered my progression into Phase 2 Niceguy. And I got really emo and stuff about it. Nothing too serious, just listen to a lot of emo music, draw the curtains, I'm very sad. I think she broke up with that guy not too long after because of some parental intervention. The age gap, looking back on it now, was a bit weird. She's 11 or 12, he's probably about 15. Ooh, that's creepy. Which was a big gap at our age. Yeah. I think this is when her friends found out about my crush and pulled the same shit that my friend did in primary school. I can't remember how I found out the truth about it, but yeah, more reason I lost trust in people. Understandable. I was dealing with bullies in my tutor group at some point while on my way to maths one day. They pulled out a long metal wire from a metal fence. It had a lot of range and they were lashing it around in front of them where I was walking. It kept catching me on the calves and stung like a bitch. What the fuck? That's horrible. I ended up losing my shit and getting into a short fight to get them to stop. It was more of a struggle that lasted a few seconds with 1 or 2 punches thrown, but it was over and that was done for now. It showed them that I wasn't some weakling they could push around, and they'd at least get that, and news traveled around. Even C heard. She approached me and thought it was pretty cool, gave me a fist bump. We got friendlier after that, but it only fueled my nice guy syndrome for longer. But eventually, I guess I just lost interest after a while. And that's where we come to A. Now we had multiple sets in each class based on ability. After tests, we could either be moved up or down sets based on our grades. The person I sat next to in science had this banter thing going with me where we'd joke about hating each other, but it was all really in good fun. She moved down a set and A moved up a set. She took the vacant seat next to me. She was warm, bubbly personality who was pretty friendly and took pretty quickly to making friends with me. She was a popular girl, good looking, and I remember she's a great singer too. Basically, a prime target for all the nice guys out there. I think it was the casually flirty language she used with me that reawakened the old dormant nice guy in me, and I kinda had a crush on her. There's one major thing that kept me from anything beyond my fear of asking her out, and that was that she always seemed to be going out with someone else. If she was single, it wasn't for long. I think I just eventually settled on letting things be, but I wasn't happy with the situation, and I probably fantasized about being with her quite a bit too. This one was the least worst because I interacted with her a lot and we were fairly friendly. I was also a lot more friendly with C at the time, and I think I was content with just being friends by last year. I was going to a college back in my hometown, and I wouldn't be seeing most of my friends from there ever again. So a clean break was probably for the best, and it helped get rid of my one-itis for either one of them at that point. So college, don't worry. Things concerning my nice guy behavior end right here. I did become a games designer for 2 years at this time. There was one girl in our first year, but she's a lesbian, and I don't have an issue with that, so it never really flared up and caused any problems. During that time, though, I'd gotten into the Pokemon community over the internet. I made some good friends, and we got pretty close as a group. I had a short-lived crush on a girl in the group who I was good friends with and vibed pretty well. I'd say my nice guy behavior is over at this point, because I found out she wasn't interested, and I just kind of accepted that and moved on pretty straight away. Fortunately, I think this was just mistaking a really good vibe with a friend for feelings, and I just made a mistake there overthinking things. I asked through proxy again because I was still anxiety-ridden dumbass, but at least this time I wasn't lied to. I lost contact with all of them a while ago, though, but I hope they're all doing well. So that was my experience as a nice guy. A milder strain of nice guy in my opinion, but I'll let you all judge me on this one yourselves. How'd I get out of this? How did I purge the nice guy? Well, I guess it's case specific for me. I started to focus internally on self-improvement. I took to looking at philosophy. For a short time, I was drawn in by the promise of the red pill like a lot of younger guys. I was looking at these philosophies and nodding and going along and agreeing like the sheep. I was looking at how to be a stronger person mentally and socially. While it was getting me out of the nice guy mentality, it was drawing me into something else that can be far more toxic at its extremes. Eventually, I found YouTube channels dedicated to style and fitness and personality improvement, mainly for young guys. I, like the naive kid I was, despite being 18, took to these and used them as gospel. There's a fair bit of useful information on there. Some of it conflicted, but quite a bit started to sound the same after a while. I got a lot of good tips on how to dress well, and I still apply those. It made me feel better mentally. I feel I look good in clothes. Personality-wise, it all really helped to cement that the roots of your personality should just be about being a good person and not expecting any reward for being a decent human being. It also included advice on dating. What I looked at helped me get out of the one-itis issues I had during my nice guy days. Then looking into the other counter-philosophies and learning that no opinion should be taken as the answer without being tested and challenged, I got out of that whole red pill stuff pretty quickly. Along with the fact that the red pill philosophy and the MGTOW idea was a BS since they were all spouting the same stuff, even though it's supposed to be about going your own way. I grew a distaste for ideologies after that since I nearly got roped into one masking as something else. Fortunately, I just decided I'll be my own person, taking a leaf from Jekyll, and kept building on my own personality by working on it as a synergy of all good ideas while throwing out the ones that I deem bad. I'm now pretty critical of any new idea I come across and might only agree with some of it. I basically rebuilt my personality to get out of any mentalities other than the one I can call my own. Also, since Keanu Reeves is my idol, sorry, it's not you, Moonhorse. You're still up there with everyone else I respect greatly, though, and it's a short list. I'm not a good idol. I'm not even a good, example. Unless your, example is weirdo unicorn who reads stories on the internet, then I'm a good example of that. And he's like the most wholesome, positive guy who can't seem to hate anyone despite all the hardships he's gone through. I aspire to be as a good person as he is, since he's like the physical embodiment of all that is good with humanity. It's just my opinion, though. The only thing I worry about is the possibility of my nice guy side one day resurfacing. That's why I have a few tenets I follow as well. They keep me in line, because if I do show any resurging signs of nice guy syndrome, but it's also a general philosophy I live by. I list them down here. Be a good person. Be polite to everyone unless they don't deserve the courtesy. Don't hold grudges. Go with the flow. Don't worry so much. Don't form one-sided attachments to others. Be a good friend. Expect no reward for your actions. Always be grateful if you do get one. Be considerate of those around you and their feelings. Try to help others only when you believe you really can. Be water. I like that one. That last one is Bruce Lee because his philosophy always resonated with me. For those who read or heard the reading of Damaged But Still Here, you know I put off dating too. Being a former nice guy is also a concern of mine that's kept me away from the dating scene. I'm worried that I could cause problems if I do date and Mr. Nice Guy might resurface. But as long as I keep toxic mentalities like that out of my mind, there will hopefully be no problem with it. I'm just glad all of this is in the past, even if I am ashamed of my old self. Well, now the Celestial Herd knows my greatest shame, and I'll let you pass judgment on me. I've got a few things I've been working on that I hope you'll enjoy. Don't know when I'll be able to post next, since uni keeps me really busy. Thanks for reading this, Moonhorse, and you're all lovely people. Well, I think you're a lovely person. I hope your day is filled with sunshine, lollipops, etc., all that good stuff. And not the pungent aroma of Doritos, Mountain Dew, and other unsavory scents never meant to be smelled by the rest of society. And remember to do human things, like walk on leg. Ciao! I don't think you're going to have to worry about those kind of mentalities bothering you. From the way you've said things, from the way you've worded this, from these episodes, you sound like you have a very, very good grasp on everything. On your personality, on how you want things to be, and you sound really focused to it. Growing up helps a lot with the whole nice guy thing. I think a lot of the reason why we hear about these kind of guys, especially when they're younger, is because they don't really know a good way to interact, you know? A lot of it comes from social awkwardness and this idea that you like someone but you don't know how to say that without coming across as really weird or kind of creepy. And a lot of people grow out of that. Like I said in the last video, a lot of people do grow out of that. As you get older, you tend to brush off a lot of these things. Some people don't, and we all know that. Some people still stick around with the neckbeard nice guy mentality for years and years and years. Some of them become, red pill, MGTOW incels. All of these things are just fucking awful. And they too can grow out of that. But a lot of it, when it comes down to these kinds of things, when it comes to personal beliefs, personal actions, mentality, personality, all of these things are based on the individual. Do they want to change? And from what I've read, you did. And you have. I don't think you have to worry about a lot of this stuff. Personally, it sounds like you got a really good head on your shoulders. And I'm a pretty good judge of people. It's true. I'm a unicorn. I know things. It's what I do. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about that too much. And as for the rest of you, well, I don't know about you guys. I'm kidding. I love you all. You're fucking wonderful. You guys are the best. And I hope you do have a wonderful day or night or whatever time it is, because it's actually night here and it's kind of late, so I think I'm going to go to bed. But before I do, I want to let you know a few things. If you have a story, you can send it to r/Moonhorse Stories. I will see it. If you would please, I'm not even going to edit that out. I'm going to leave that in there because I fucked up that line and I want me to know it. If you would please, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Pisses off YouTube. It's funny that way. And if you'd like to keep the lights on in here so I can keep doing things like this, reading stories, fucking up my lines, refusing to edit them out, and being generally weird, you can do that by going to my Patreon or buying something from the merch store. Both of those things, as well as many, many more, are in the description down below. Sometimes I often think about linking things that have nothing to do with the video in the description down below, just to see if you guys check it. I don't know. I probably won't, but I'll think about it. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, goodbye!